it my fault?
Wonderful Honda Civic today. This is a four-door Civic with an Integra Type R swap. So it's the B18C, not to be confused with the LS B18 B1 or the B16. This is the JDM version of the B18C, and it is nothing short than astounding. I can rev to a little bit over 8,000 RPM. You can kind of see how the K-Series was inspired by this motor, because it's just so much fun to drive. Cusco roll cage in it. It even has the classic spoon brake master cylinder cover. That's how you know you're serious with a Honda, because you know they got spoon motors in Hector Civics. But this Civic reminds me a lot of the four-door sleeper I did way back in the day. That was a semi-built LS motor with a turbo on it. This is the Integra Type R motor, but all motor. So that was the sleeper that was sloppily put together on purpose. This is the more refined all-motor handling version. It's got TE37s with Neogen tires, and they are incredibly sticky. It's got this amazing Momo steering wheel. It feels so comfortable, feels so good in your hands. It's got an S2000 cluster right in front of me, so I know exactly when to shift, because it kind of does feel a lot like a front-wheel drive S2000. This feels a lot like the Honda Street Garage Civic that I drove about a month ago. And that had a K motor in it, and that's where I'm kind of seeing the similarities. They do sound a little bit different, but overall, a very similar vibe. Man, it's so funny because, you know, this Civic looks like an ordinary Civic until you get to the holes in the bumper and the exhaust and everything else and the wheels and tires. But other than that, it looks fairly normal, but then you can just send it. Cars like these that make me understand why the Honda scene is so big. I totally get it. It's incredibly satisfying to go through the gears, even if you're not trying to be a Billy Badass. Even if you're just rowing through them, it's incredibly fun to drive. VTEC! VTEC! Awesome, dude. Now I see why the Integra Type R is still so expensive. The Integra Type R has been cherished by everybody. A lot of people love the Type R because of how this engine works. Of course, the GSR was similar in a lot of ways, but the Integra Type R's motor was just enough to be different. These engines are going for so much money now, and I never understood it, and I get it now. Now, would I personally invest the money in this? I wouldn't. But here's the story about this particular Integra Type R engine. The owner has had this engine in 3 different cars for 8 years. This has been with this man for 8 years, and it's still running strong. The motor does have head studs in it, but that's pretty much it. It's incredible. Stock trans, stock everything else. Just so easy. You have a hair of torque steer, but other than that, piece of cake. If you haven't noticed already, I'm on the wrong side of the car. This was actually right-hand drive converted, so the fact that this was right-hand drive converted, also with an S2000 cluster, I think is just awesome. So a few downsides. When you sit this car in traffic, sometimes it overheats. However, the owner did daily drive this thing for basically 2 years until he just got another Honda to daily around with like a single cam in it. No, the interior in this thing's immaculate, no cracks on the dash. But the best part of the interior is the seats. So the seats in this are basically from the Fiero Civic. So you could call this the Civic Fiero replica, but not to be confused with the Pontiac Fiero, which is not even close to this. This actually has bucket seats in the back. It's really interesting to see a full bucket seat with headrests and everything with individual nice little compartments for your butt. The seats are extremely comfortable. They're not racing seats, but the bolstering's nice. They're comfortable. Has a little bit of drone in the exhaust, but you can deal with it because you're like Integra Type R, bro. It's weird to see the roll cage here with a full interior. It's really interesting. Funny enough, I reviewed a car with a Type R engine for the actual Type R. That's how hard they are to find nowadays. The owner of this car was telling me, since this motor is so expensive for people who want it, a lot of Honda guys recommend just doing like an LS VTEC, where you take the LS bottom end, the B18, B1, and then just put a VTEC head on it or build the head. And then that way, it's still a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun to drive. And you have that bottom end torque from the LS. This car is Honda Street Garage, combined with the Sleeper Civic, combined with right-hand drive Kev's car. It's like all together now. It's interesting, when you're just cruising around town, the VTEC kicks in and you can barely feel it nudge. And you're like, oh, it's ready to go. I mean, this is third gear. And brakes are good. You see the split in the Honda scene, right? You see the people who give it a bad name, but they really are respectable, fun cars when you do them right. And this is a Civic done right. I've never felt a B series that's been non-turbo feel so strong. Barely get in it, one hit. Oh, a little bit of torque here. Do you see that? As soon as my big toe goes in it, the wheel starts wiggling. Oh, see, just like that. I let off the wheel just enough and the whole car yigs sideways. So this does have a limited slip differential, unlike an open diff. Open diff with any sort of power added to a front wheel drive car is just miserable. So I could not imagine if this car was open differential. No freaking way. No thank you. It's just so good. I will say though, out of all the right-hand drive cars I've driven, this one feels the most natural. I can't really get my, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know, maybe it's because the Civic is such a common car. We've all been in them. So when you switch it to the other side, it really doesn't feel that jarring. A Skyline, the first time you get in it, it's a very foreign object to us Americans, right? Because we don't have it. We never had it. We didn't have the interior. This is the exact same interior, just flipped around. There's not really many left-hand drive Skylines, only like in Dubai. On that tangent note, I think that's why it's just comfortable. It's a car that we feel all the time. We understand how the chassis is and how everything works. So yeah, it's also on coilover suspension and just completely tidied up. We're actually on pretty soft dampening right now, but it's made it great to cruise over bumps. One thing I just can never, there's the VTEC, just that. See, like, wait for it, big toe, big toe, big toe. VTEC. You know exactly when it comes on. I just can never believe in every freaking Honda I drive, the shifter feels like the best thing in the freaking world. Remember the first time I drove an S2K and I was like, nothing's better than this. No shifter is better. Brake. So good, dude. And this exhaust doesn't sound raspy and gross, you know? I don't know what it is. It just sounds really good. It's rewarding to rev it all the way out. And this is just my opinion. I do think it is hard to make an all-motor Honda sound really good with an aftermarket exhaust. That's why I've been so hesitant with my Integra to change out the little pea shooter muffler, because it's always gonna sound fine. But this one is an exception. I'm gonna pass the question off to you in the comment section below. Do you love this Civic? What do you think of it? Would you build this yourself? Let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, by the way, we just finished up releasing the Smiles Per Gallon sunglasses. I'm finally selling ThatDudeinBlue sunglasses. We have the Smiles Per Gallon logo right here and T-dib, and these polarized lenses are super nice. Really affordable. If you'd like to check out a pair, link in the description below on motoloot.com. Same people who did my key tags. All of you guys know the key tags were really high quality from the guys at MotoLoot, so give them a chance. They're really comfortable, and thank you all so much. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a fantastic day. Hey, you, want clean wheels? Hey, use this, spray on, let it sit for 45 seconds and turn purple. Spray again with water, clean wheels. Make sure to check out www.pattersoncarcare.com. Made by car dudes, for car dudes.